Ladies and gentlemen, in my view, the most important and interesting aspect of the cryptocurrency market right now is the altcoin market, specifically Ethereum, Bitcoin dominance, and the total 3 cryptocurrency market cap chart, because it is at a major crossroads. Ethereum has performed absolutely terribly since around December 2024, and that was the case for many months on end. It pretty much more than halved in value, went down 66% during a time in which it's meant to be going upwards. This is a bull market, remember. Okay, Bitcoin did see a correction and consolidation for a long period of time, but it didn't break into a bear market. In fact, it went down and flipped its prior resistance high for support and broke a channel and wedged to the upside. Okay, this is very good stuff for Bitcoin. It's unconventional for Bitcoin to go sideways for this long in a bull market, and that's probably why altcoins did not do very well, because there was boredom within that long consolidation. But Bitcoin did not go into a bear market by any means. Ethereum, on the other hand, going down 66%, that's a correction we shouldn't have seen, right? If we're using the last 2 cycles for information and for guidance, that's something we shouldn't have seen. It got wrecked, pretty much. And now, as Bitcoin has proven its life once more and broken up to the upside, back into a prior macro range between these 2 yellow lines, Ethereum actually showed a bit of strength, right? It kind of surprised the market to a certain extent and showed people that it's not dead yet. It was just dormant because we had such boring price action. And in the time period that Bitcoin went upwards, as you can see here on the right-hand side of the screen, Bitcoin went upwards 43%. Ethereum on the left-hand side of the screen went upwards of 96%, doubling Bitcoin's performance during that pump. It showed the market, and it showed us as investors and traders in the market, that it is still alive. And now, as we sit here at a new crossroad in the market, consolidating for the last week or so, we ask the question, will that sign of life continue into full-blown altcoin season level strength, or will it taper off once more? That's what we'll be discussing today. Before we get into it today, guys, we have an exchange here that has never been hacked before in 3.5 years of being on the market. That is global non-KYC. You can sign up from anywhere in the world and use this exchange without a VPN. And furthermore, with my referral link down below, you can get a 15% trading fee discount attached to your account for life, as well as $8,000 plus USDT in trading rewards added to your account as trading bonuses for signing up with my referral link down below. This is big stuff here. It's an excellent deal. I reached out to them for partnership. They did not reach out to me. I don't get paid by them. The only thing I get is a referral link. And if you want all those things I just mentioned, which you should, trust me, I've done the scouting of the market, you can use my link down below to sign up. It takes 30 seconds and you'll get those rewards and bonuses, and you'll help out the channel. I appreciate that, guys. Let's get into the content. Ladies and gentlemen, the market is pending a decision. Okay, we broke above a descending wedge formation which held for months on Bitcoin. We've broken back into our prior macro range between these 2 yellow lines on the screen you can see here, which previously acted as major support and major resistance. And by the way, those lines stem backwards from 2017 and 2021 respectively. They're very old lines. They're cyclically relevant lines, and being back between them is a very good sign. But now on the short-term perspective, we're forming an ascending channel formation on Bitcoin. We're consolidating. We're no longer in the aggressive move. We've kind of taken a break here. And obviously, with a break in the price action, the question becomes, do we go downwards for a short-term correction, or do we continue to the upside? So we're at a kind of crossroad. We're at a decision point here on Bitcoin. And that decision point is not really best viewed on the Bitcoin chart itself, but it's actually viewed best on the USDT dominance chart. The chart that measures the strength of Tether, USDT, the stablecoin, against the rest of the cryptocurrency market. And as you can see on the right-hand side of the screen, it measures that strength in percentage format. So when this chart goes upwards, that means that people are selling their cryptocurrency for stablecoins. And when it goes downwards, people are using their stablecoins to buy cryptocurrency and hence disposing of those stablecoins. And so we want this chart to go downwards. And you can see this red support band actually marked the cryptocurrency top in 2021. So you can see these bounces in 2021 from this red support band happened at the same time that crypto actually topped out in its bull market. This chart is reverse correlated to Bitcoin, and so it bouncing is a bad thing. We want this chart to break down. But the point I'm trying to make here is that we are testing that support band right now, which further emphasizes the point I just made. We're at a crossroads, right? We either bounce here or we reject. There's not going to be much time for us to consolidate. The same thing can be said about the 14-year ascending resistance line on Bitcoin, stemming backwards from 2011. I've spoken about both these things extensively. You're probably bored of me hearing about it by now. but that is another line that we're testing right now at this moment for resistance. So we're at a crossroads on Bitcoin, and it's stupid of us, it's silly of us to think that that crossroad only applies to Bitcoin. It applies to Ethereum and altcoins as well, and as I mentioned in the introduction, actually even more extensively. Because it is Ethereum and altcoins that have been performing so horribly in this cycle. Ethereum and altcoins were meant to start outperforming Bitcoin back here in November, right? But instead they didn't. Instead, we saw Bitcoin dominance continue to climb and Bitcoin continued to dominate the market. And as we mentioned before, we saw Ethereum get absolutely wrecked. We got a 66% drop on Ethereum. So this crossroad that the broader market is in represents a massive opportunity for Ethereum and altcoins in general. And it's not just what I mentioned before that is a display of this crossroad, right? The BLX with the 14-year ascending resistance line and also the USDT dominance chart. It's also Ethereum and the total 3 itself, right? Ethereum right now is stationed, the price of Ethereum is stationed between two very, very major important indicators on the Ethereum chart historically, which is the 200-day simple moving average in green, acting as support and resistance on critical occasions for Ethereum in recent history, and the bull market support band doing exactly the same. The fact that we're between these two levels means we're in a period of indecision, right? I will remind you, Ethereum has recently outperformed Bitcoin quite extensively in the recent move upwards, doubling Bitcoin's performance over the last month or so. And so if we see Bitcoin move above its relative resistance levels and we see Ethereum do the same, we have an opportunity to keep that ball rolling. We have an opportunity for Ethereum to continue outperforming Bitcoin and for an altcoin season to actually properly begin. The same conclusion is made by looking at the total 3 cryptocurrency market cap chart, which is a chart that measures the total dollar value of the cryptocurrency market minus Bitcoin and Ethereum. So in other words, this is the altcoin market cap chart. It is a chart that measures altcoins dollar value in general, totally, right? And what we've done on the total 3 so far is we've rejected from our 2021 all-time high. We've seen a bad sign. In fact, that rejection from the 2021 all-time high is what started the period of very, very bad performance for altcoins in general. Now, just like Ethereum, just like Bitcoin, we're at a crossroads. We have an opportunity to break this cup formation to the upside. We're currently consolidating between the neckline of resistance and the bull market support band. And that consolidation can't last much longer. I expect this decision to be made in the market in general within a couple of weeks, okay? Let's be very clear. If the decision is made to the downside, if we do see a drop across the market on Bitcoin, on Ethereum, on altcoins, it's not necessarily the end of the world. That could just be a healthy pullback to lower support zones before bouncing back to the upside. Okay, it wouldn't necessarily be the end of the world. But it would be ideal, of course, if we did not lose this optimal position we have on Ethereum and on the total 3 right now to make these structures worth their value, right? And to break upwards and continue the outperformance against Bitcoin, because we are very far behind the ball with altcoin season. Okay, I asked you guys in a poll about 4 days ago, I said, what's going to happen? Are we going to see an altcoin season? And if so, will it be massive like our prior 2 cycles, or will it be smaller? And most of you think we're going to see one. Okay, only 18% of you think we're not going to see one. But about half of you in the other 2 minority of selections here are split between the 2, right? Most people kind of think that we're going to see an altcoin season, but it looks like there's no clear decisiveness on whether that altcoin season will be big and conventional or whether it be smaller and more unique. I probably lean towards the argument that it will be smaller in scale than the prior cycles, and that's simply because we have not a lot of time. Right, we only have about 6 or 7 months until the end of the cycle. And previously speaking, altcoin seasons have lasted a full 320 days. That's almost a year, right? This time we don't have that amount of time. We don't have 320 days until the end of the cycle. We only have about 130. So we're working with less than half the amount of time. And for that reason, it just seems ridiculous to assume that we would be seeing something as big as prior cycles, especially considering we've actually had terrible performance so far on altcoins and Ethereum this cycle. Because of the market environment, because of the slow and consolidation-filled market environment. So I don't think we'll see a massive altcoin season, but I do certainly think that given this crossroad and given the recent performance of Ethereum and the total 3, we do have an opportunity for some sort of altcoin season, which should excite you to a certain extent. So what am I looking for on Ethereum right now? Well, of course, in order for Ethereum and altcoins to even be touchable, I do think Bitcoin needs to be in a good position. So I'm actually primarily looking at Bitcoin. I want to see Bitcoin break above its 14-year ascending resistance line. I want to see the USDT dominance chart, which applies to Bitcoin and Ethereum, breaking downwards. And then furthermore, I want to see Ethereum breaking its 200-day simple moving average, which is what held for support for months on end in 2024 and held for resistance back here in January, February this year. And I also want to see the total 3 break its neckline of resistance and the psychological resistance zone at 1 trillion. At that point, which wouldn't be too far away, it'd only take about a, let's say 5 to 10% move across the market. At that point, I would consider altcoins and Ethereum to be in a very good position. And I would expect to see Bitcoin dominance really start to break down and enter that altcoin season once and for all. But until that occurs, we are not in an altcoin season currently, and we're not seeing the strength we need to be seeing yet on Ethereum and the total 3 at this point in time, given the fact we're at a crossroad. We've seen a good step in the right direction with the recent month of price action in relation to Bitcoin, but we need more upside confirmation. So massive crossroad, not only for Bitcoin, but also for Ethereum and the total 3 in relation to their capacity to trigger that altcoin season. So it's really, really a big moment for the market. And I pray that it ends well. Whether it ends well with a correction first or a breakout to the upside is kind of the question. I don't really think a full-blown bear market is the likely scenario here. I don't think that at all, really. To me, the market looks to be in a pretty decent position. It's just about whether we see a short-term correction first or we just power upwards. Hopefully we power upwards because that would give altcoins the best possible chance of continuing their run. We have seen that long drawn-out consolidations and corrections have ruined altcoin performance against Bitcoin in the past. So for the sake of altcoins, I hope we just pump here off the rip. But unfortunately, there is a sizable chance of that short-term pullback, as I mentioned in prior videos. But I really wanted to make this video today, and I hope it was clear enough to highlight that the crossroad we're seeing on Bitcoin is actually more interesting on the altcoin market, given the lack of performance of altcoins this cycle so far, and the opportunity altcoins have shown themselves to have in the last month. So guys, thank you for watching the video. I really hope you enjoyed. Go ahead and check out the Bitunix Exchange. It's global, non-KYC. It has never been hacked before, and it's been on the market for 4 years. So that is an exceptional achievement and an exceptional display of safety on this exchange. And furthermore, if you use my link down below to sign up, which takes, by the way, 30 seconds, you don't need a VPN. You can be from anywhere in the world with just an email address and a password. If you use that link to sign up, you will get a 15% trading fee discount attached to your account for life. That's 15% off every single buy and sell you make on this exchange. Every single fee you incur is a 15% trading fee discount exclusively with that referral link down below. Get on a good exchange and get on a cheap exchange, guys. This is the one for you. If you're interested, links are down below. Appreciate it. Have a good one.